Hi, it's Lillian from Lillian's Table, and today I am cooking with a friend. I have Madison here. I think a lot of people that know me and know Madison as well. And one interesting thing, as long as I've known Madison and she's watched my food pictures and postings, specifically with scallops, shrimps, and a lot of other stuff, she's always wanted to learn how to make scallops.
Yeah.
She thinks it's something really difficult. So I invited Madison to come over and teach her how to make scallops and show you all how to make scallops, because it's actually not that difficult. And we're gonna pair it with a nice burrata and peach salad, and I think it could work really well for a nice Valentine's meal coming up. But first things first, we are going to pour a little sparkling wine because whenever I'm cooking in the kitchen, I always serve myself a glass of wine, and sparkling wine goes really well with scallops, champagne, prosecco, any of them.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so anyhow, and I'm excited that Madison is here with me, so.
Champagne while we cook.
Yes.
And actually, scallops aren't that hard. Lillian taught me a little tutorial earlier, and I was like, we have to share this because Lillian's awesome at teaching everybody how to cook and how she makes her things, and here we are.
And it's not that hard.
So cheers!
So anyhow, if you're watching, grab your glass of wine.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
So anyhow, quick salad. This is the easiest salad to make. You know when you go to restaurants and everybody's like, burrata salad, it's so good, so easy. You just have to actually buy the burrata. I get mine from Whole Foods. Trader Joe's has them. The big balls, not the little ones, but the one where you cut into it and everything oozes out. So the first thing is I'm just gonna layer, some arugula on a big white plate, not a whole lot. And I have already cut up some peaches, actually some nectarines on my cutting board. You could always grill your peaches as well. That actually gives it a really nice touch. But you just want to layer them and kind of create a little bit of a nice design. I'm going to go all around the arugula.
I'm digging that.
Yep. And Madison said she does like peaches in her salad, not too many other fruits, but peaches is okay. So that is the fruit. Now we take the burrata, which again, one ball should be enough for 2 people. You don't want to go crazy here. Everything is in moderation. And so when you cut into it, you can kind of see that it's got nice, oozing.
It's a little wet inside.
A little wet inside. I don't know if you can appreciate that. But you just kind of layer now right on top of the arugula, your burrata. This salad is actually almost done. And then what I like to pair the salad with is different nuts. So I have some candied walnuts.
Yum. These are from Trader Joe's, by the way.
You can candy your own nuts in a pan, but Trader Joe's sells them for, not that expensive. I just put a little bit, again, they're candied. And then I add some pistachios. Hazelnuts will work really well in this salad too. And macadamia nuts. I've done that before. So you do that, and obviously you want to add some microgreens.
Love the microgreens.
Just because they look pretty and they're very healthy. And then we want to add a little bit of oil. This does not need its own dressing. It could get its own dressing, but I just use a good olive oil to go all the way around.
Also from Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's, yes. A Sicilian one from Italy. A glaze, balsamic vinegar glaze.
That looks so good.
Looks so pretty.
Oh my gosh, so pretty.
And then I always add a little bit of truffle, just in the cap on top of the burrata. Okay, now another good tip, if you want to make this vegan, if you're can't have the cheese, this salad, just exactly what we did, would pair really well with some roasted sweet potatoes, anything that you've roasted and kind of allowed to caramelize, even some tricolor carrots, some roasted cauliflower. There's a lot of things that you could do to replace that. So that is our salad.
That was so easy.
That was very easy. That took, I don't know how long.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Now, let's talk about the scallops. So you can get scallops these days, from lots of different places. I went to Whole Foods just because I wanted a few. At Trader Joe's, they do sell a package. Let me come a little closer. They do sell a package. I think you get about 15 scallops in there from anywhere from $14 to $16, which is a really good price. Whole Foods had them for $24.99 a pound. That's why I got them. I just got a few for us today. and sometimes they do go on sale. So anyhow, thank you, welcome. Madison's also my great assistant.
I don't cook well, but I'm a good cleaner of food.
So the key with scallops and any seafood is that you really want to make sure, because they retain a lot of water, thank you, you want to pat them dry. So that's the most important thing, because when you cook them, you really want to get a nice sear and a crust. Like when you go to a restaurant and you get scallops, they always have a nice crust on them. So you want to make sure that you can replicate that at home, because then you're going to be actually more excited about cooking them again, and everybody that you cook them for is going to probably love you for them. So
that's why I love Lillian.
So you pat them dry, you know, on both sides. And scallops have like a muscle. So a lot of times, like Whole Foods, actually there is no muscle here, but usually if you buy them somewhere else, there might be like at the end, a muscle that you can see. It's a different color. Usually it's a little whiter. And you want to take that out because it's very tough. And if you don't take it out when you cook it, then it's going to just they're going to kind of shrivel up and they'll get a little bit tough. So you don't want that. So I'm just going to wash my hands real quick before we season them. And also get the pan.
I got that.
Thank you. So Madison's going to turn on our pan. We are using
cast iron?
Yes, we're using a cast iron pan, getting it really hot, not turning it on high, maybe like a medium high. And then right when it gets hot, we add a little bit of oil. We're also going to add a little bit of butter, and make sure that the scallops go in there when you get that nice sear, and we'll show you that. But let's just season them a little bit. I am going to use some salt, and I'm just going to season one side for now, and I'll season the rest in the pan. So I'm using oregano. Oregano is good with all things seafood. I think I've mentioned that before. A little garlic powder. These don't require a lot of seasoning. Some fresh pepper. And one of the things I taught Madison how to make that we're going to use, the reason you don't season them as much, or you don't need to, well, they taste really delicious on their own anyway. But we made like a pea puree with some crispy pancetta that we're going to show you on the plate. That's already been made. And so you're going to get a lot of the sauce from that. So anyhow, if our pan is
you
hot,
check it. I'm going to bring this over.
I'm going to check it, and we're going to bring the video closer there so you can see the pan.
Do, 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 do. All right, T.
Yep. See there. Okay.
All right.
So we put a little bit of oil there. And what you always want to make sure, it's not as hot just yet, but you want to make sure that it is very hot so that you get that sizzle right on the pan. I think they can kind of see here. Maybe, yep. So let's put a little bit of butter and we can see. Yeah, getting there.
Not hot enough yet.
Not hot enough yet. But anyhow, ask questions. Anybody have a question out there about scallops that we can answer while we're waiting for our pan to get nice and hot?
Tell them maybe why you use a cast iron pan instead of like a different pan.
Yes, so cast iron pan, I like it. It obviously retains a lot of heat. I cook a lot of my fish in there. And then I also, when I sear fish or any of my shrimp or scallops, I usually just go a few minutes on the pan, and then I turn my oven on. I always have my oven on to like 300, 350, and then you always want to kind of finish it off in the oven just to make sure that you get the right temperature. Sometimes turning it on broil will give it even that nicer color on the top. And they clean up really well. The one downside is they are kind of heavy and they get hot very quickly, but these work really well with any other pan. So I think that our pan is getting the right temperature, so we're gonna try. We're gonna lay one down. Yeah, and you probably can't hear, but there's definitely a sizzle happening.
You can definitely
Can you hear
that. I think you can hear it.
Okay.
Can you hear that over there?
So we're gonna put, I have a total of 5 over here. Yes, and they're definitely sizzling. Now, you're really just gonna actually sear them and not touch them for a good 2 or 3 minutes. And while they're there, we will continue to season the other side. And you just want to make sure, you don't touch them because you want to create that crust. So just a light seasoning here, like we did on the first side, and a little bit of salt. And at the very end, I'm going to actually squeeze some lemon. I'm not putting the lemon in now because I don't want it to retain sort of too much water or liquid. You also notice that there's a lot of space between the scallops in the pan. One of the things that you don't want to do is you don't want to crowd your pan, because then it tends to steam up instead of caramelizing or creating a crust. So we'll just wait there a little bit, and while we wait, I'll show you, see if you can see here, we've made this pea puree. That one was started with some pancetta that we sauteed. The pancetta becomes crispy and then creates like a nice flavor component. We added shallots, garlic, and just frozen peas. Added a little bit of chicken stock and then put that through a chopper. Topped it off with a little bit of creme fraiche, and that's gonna be the bottom layer of the scallops that we're gonna plate. And these continue to sizzle. It'll take, I don't know, maybe another 2 minutes. I think that I'd like to keep it. Don't want to turn them over too soon. Just watch your heat that they don't burn.
When do you think would be a good time to turn those? Like, how will you know?
I think a good 3 minutes. 3 minutes is more or less. I mean, you probably can hear it a little bit. It's already kind of popping. And I think we've gone about 2 minutes.
Smells so good already.
Yeah. So why were you nervous about making scallops?
Well, I think scallops it's one of those things that you usually get them out at a restaurant.
Fancy.
And they're usually fancy, right? They come on a nice plate. Like Lillian's over here with a pea puree. You know, it's a little intimidating, but we went and did one go around earlier and she showed me how to do this and I'm like, I'm ready to go for it. Like,
it's quick. It's actually a very quick, and they're delicious and really good source of protein. Lean. There's not a lot going on.
And they really only take less than 10 minutes for you to prep and cook. And I'm a super, like, quick and easy is my go-to. So this is totally right up my wheelhouse.
So I think we're gonna turn these.
Let's go. Here. Show you guys how she's flipping them.
Yep. And I like the crust on them. They're a nice color. So that was probably just a little under 3 minutes.
They look great.
So at this point, I am going to squeeze a little bit of citrus. You could do lemon, you could do lime, you know, right on them. And then, you don't have to, but you can add a little bit of butter. I mean, a little bit to the pan. And just swirl that around. And they're just gonna cook for another 2 minutes, not a whole lot. You don't wanna overcook your scallops because they will taste tough and chewy, and you don't want that. You want them to be nice and tender and soft in the middle. So while those continue to cook, because I think everybody gets the idea, you just don't want to cook them. They're going to be there maybe another minute at most. We'll come back over and we'll get our plate ready. Show you how to plate this. Do it right here? Okay.
I'll do it over here.
Got it.
All right.
Ooh, okay. So is this good?
Yeah.
So we're going to just basically take this puree and grab a spoon, just a little bit. You just want to make a little design on the plate. So what are we doing? We're putting a little dollop here and maybe another one here. And then once you have your dollop, you just take the back of your spoon and you can go like this and like that. And now you've created a little nice design.
How cute is that?
We also have, this was the pancetta, the crispy pancetta that we are going to sprinkle on top. Again, if you are not eating meat and you're a pescatarian, then you can skip the pancetta and add a couple other finishing touches. I have some chopped up herbs and always use a nice finishing salt. I have like, this one comes from Colorado. My sister bought it for me and I use it a lot just at the end to give it the flavor. So I'm going to grab the scallop.
Yeah. Remember, she only said 2 to 3 minutes on the scallops, so don't leave them for too long in the pan or you'll end up with some burnt scallops and nobody wants that.
So we're gonna take the nice big one. Put
Yeah.
one right over here. Maybe go diagonal. Here. I think 3 is good. A little bit more.
Oh, it's okay. You got your pancetta. Lillian also prepared this earlier in the pan, the cast iron pan. She cooked this, and that layer of grease that came off the pancetta was actually what we cooked the scallops in.
So yeah. So a couple little microgreens somewhere over here. Some of our herbs. And the pancetta.
And this part, game changer.
Sprinkle it all around.
Beautiful.
And there you have it. So you have a nice burrata, arugula, peach salad, and then your scallops with pea puree. And it didn't take that long. I think if you have everything ready to go, you could really pull this together in what?
We prepared this from the minute we started this live video, basically right into this moment.
Yeah, we did have some things prepped and ready to go, but if you really truly get everything organized, I don't think you'd be in the kitchen for more than 45 minutes. And then for your Valentine's dessert, I don't know, I have a couple things that I may come on later on this week and show you, but you can't go wrong with having some really good cookies and some awesome ice cream with sorbet and chocolate sauce and your wine. So there you have it. Thanks for joining, and I hope that you guys will try to make scallops real soon. Cheers.
See ya.
Thank you, Madison.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.